So here's my first problem. The Thing from 2011 is not a remake of The Thing from 1982. It's a prequel. Now I'd be pretty annoyed if they gave a remake the same name as The Thing. The Thing. But a prequel? Now I have to say, have you seen The Thing? No, not that one. The Thing before The Thing. No, that's Ice Station Zebra. You see, The Thing, the real Thing, from 1982, is itself a remake, well, kind of, from the 1951 film The Thing from Another World, which itself is based on the novella Who Goes There. So John Carpenter didn't need to call his remake, or his reboot, whatever you want to call it, The Thing from Another World. Why did Mattis van Heijningen Jr., I had to get sober to pronounce that, have to call his prequel The Thing? Oh, Ridley Scott, I saw your rushes to your prequel to Alien, and I was thinking about it a lot, and I think we should call it Alien. Were they so desperate to be associated with Carpenter's classic that they couldn't have called it Who Goes There? Or The Other Thing? Thingy. The Thong. You see, their close association, by having the same name, with the 1982 Thing might have brought publicity, but it also means that people are going to instantly compare The Thing and The Thing. And in The Thing versus The Thing doesn't come out very well. The new Thing, I mean, not the old Thing. The old Thing's good. And that's not least for the special effects. And let's face it, the 1982 film was very well known for its special effects. Let's take a look. Here's effects from 2011's. Now I get that you couldn't split the guy's head like that with practical effects, or not very easily anyway, but the 1982 The Thing's effects just seem way more real, absurd but physical. Even in this little bit from the new one, you don't really believe it. You can see the ice isn't real. Now, sticking with a newer film, when we initially see The Thing, it kinda looks okay. I think it's probably a practical model. But then it opens its guts up and you instantly can tell, oh, it's one of those movies. You know, one where they've got CGI that doesn't look very good. Indiana Jones and the Crystal bullshit, anyone? Although it's not as bad as that. You see, look at this autopsy scene. It looks okay. It's a practical model, and it looks like a monster's gut.
His face is encased in some type of amniotic sac.
That's because, in fairness to The Thing from 2011, they did use practical effects as much as they could, although reportedly much of that was actually replaced in the edit. But the practical effects do look good. Amalgamated Dynamics, the company responsible for them, did a good job. Image Engine, perhaps most notably the CGI guys behind District 9, did the rest. You can see their work in the rest of this scene. Take a look. Sure, you can barely see the monster, but you can tell it's all computer generated. It just doesn't look real. Effects like this look like they've been taken from a PlayStation game. Probably one that's ripping off The Thing. Sure, in the 82 version you couldn't have The Thing on fire with that many tentacles thrashing about, but at least it looked like it was actually on set, and on fire, in front of the actors. Of course, in the 82 version the models were set on fire by accident on numerous occasions. So swings and roundabouts. Now The Thing of course derives its real horror not from chest bursting or jump scares, but from a body snatchers in a confined space type model, like a whodunit where the person who done it keeps doing it. Now the newer film does get that, and it's not that bad, it's just kind of average. But when I think of The Thing from 1982, I always think of the master practical effects. I think perhaps they're some of the best effects out there, and they were created by Rob Bottin when he was only 23. 23! Oh my god, my life is a failure. When I was 23, I thought I was still going to be a rapper. No, I didn't know. I have a speech impediment. Now, Bottin's effects are weird and frightening, and clearly in the room with the cast, and even when they weren't, it feels like they were. Look at this scene.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
Isn't that insane? Yet, it looks real because it moves the way a real thing moves, and light falls on it the way light falls on something that's real and there in the room. No one's had to spend 1,000 man-hours programming its walking pattern that almost kind of looks believable. Because of limitations, that head on legs had to be able to walk or move on the ground. It had to be able to exist. It couldn't just be an image. Look at the scene where the Doctor loses his arms. His arms were made out of jello, packed with rubber veins, and put onto a double amputee. So when you see that scene, the arms may be fake, but they are really being cut off. So with a predecessor that is at the height of practical effects, and sure it looks dated, but that head on legs is pretty convincing. Could be anywhere. I don't get why 2011's special effects effort is so poor. The horror may have been Where's the Monster rather than What's the Monster, but Carpenter's film is iconic for its special effects. You know, one of the worst scenes is when they look through a microscope at the thing's cells.
It looks like the alien cells are somehow attacking Henrik's cells, and then What is that? It's like they're transforming into
imitating his cells.
Have you ever looked through a microscope? Of course, this is when I find out that that's a real microscope recording. It isn't, but even if it was, it still doesn't look good. I know it's a small part, but this is like seeing the strings on the model spaceship. It doesn't ruin the movie for me or anything, it just makes me question the director's attention to detail, or whether he gives a shit. The 2011 film does make plenty of callbacks to John Carpenter's film, many of which are quite satisfactory. But with that in mind, I can't understand why they didn't make a special effects callback. Using just practical effects, or maybe even using CGI effects that are very good, would have made the film superior, or if nothing else been a great fan service. I kinda think if they nailed the effects the way Carpenter and Bottin did, this could have been a cult movie. It seems like such a wasted opportunity. I guess the reason is probably down to the prevalence and comparative ease of CGI. Comparative ease at least for the people on set. Now, I think CGI can be great, but it often isn't, and with only a few exceptions, it usually dates pretty quickly. Sure, Carpenter's film is dated in many ways, but I really do think it still holds up. Watching the 1982 The Thing again, I genuinely thought, at times, that looks real. Not for everything, but for a lot. And even for the things that didn't convince me, I always found myself looking at them and thinking, that's so clever, how did they do that? I think CGI usually does the opposite of what you want. It is often immediately identifiable as CGI. Still, who can resist a good special effect?